Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1942 Underwood S Model vintage desktop typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Very big and heavy and sturdy and powerful. This was the upgrade from the Underwood 6, and it's a little bit different body style, and it has the crinkle black instead of the glossy black. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper. And this is the paper bale that sits on top. It's got two adjustable rollers. Margins are located up front here, just like your typical traditional Underwood desktop. And I'm going to set them right on the edges of the page for maximum clearance. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. Hit this line space, get you back to the beginning. It skips 1, 2, or 3. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, just flip this switch forward. It skips 2, one more, it skips 3. We're going to keep that on single for now. And I was able to type all the keys on the keyboard in one line because this has Elite typeface, which prints 12 characters per inch, which is a little bit smaller than the average typical standard, which is Pica, prints 10 characters per inch. So on this next line, I'm going to print a sentence in red. Switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side here. You flip that all the way over to that red indicator. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it all the way to the right, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. So we're moving that over for red. Absolutely beautiful typing machine. One of the best, honestly, if you compare this to portables and all the Underwood desktops, which are the best-selling typewriters of all time. This is on top of all those. I don't know if some people maybe just don't like the body style, but that doesn't, I mean, I like the body style on this one actually, but it doesn't hide the fact if you're going for performance and durability, this is what you want to deal with for daily typing. This is an office machine meant for daily typing, 8 hours a day basically. So it's built for that. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. You flip it down and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. So the 6 had a glossier black paint, and they switched to this after the war era, that era, and after the Great Depression. So this more durable paint, so it doesn't chip and doesn't leave fingerprints. It lasts longer. And also the style changed around that time, something to do with the Great Depression, possibly. Maybe people got a little bit humble after that with fancy things. So on this neck, what we're going to do is the keyboard. Everything looks good up here. Shift on each side and a shift lock on the right. To clear that, just hit the left shift button. Backspace on the left side works good. Tab on the top side. I think we got one tab set. We're going to clear that by hitting tab stop clear. Now we shouldn't have any. It has a really good drag as long as you push it down hard. If you don't push it down hard, it's got no drag pretty much. So I always like to keep one set somewhere in the middle. But I'm gonna, on the right side here actually. So I'm gonna set one right there by hitting the tab stop set on the right side, and it stops at that spot. Margin release to the right. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. And if you hit that margin release button, it will allow you to go 4 more spaces on this model. And there's a margin release on the right here. It's kind of inconspicuous. So if you want to, this is on 0 now, but if you wanted to get, like if you had the margin and you just want to get back to the beginning all the way, then this little lever on the right side here, sorry, this lever right here will get you past that left margin. This way, sorry, I'm looking at the camera. So if you let it go and you stop at that spot, the front panel pops out from the inside so you can access the spool. The spool's all the brand new ribbons loaded on the right, so it's pulling to the left. But you don't really need to access it to change that direction. I just want to show you how to get in there and change a ribbon. And it just kind of hooks back in from the front. I believe. Maybe, yep, just like that. Just pops right back in. This is your touch control from 0 to 6. The higher you go on that, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. They do respond faster, but you got to hit them a little harder from the print. I'll put the color back to black. And I think that's it for the keyboard. This is how you change the direction, traditional desktop Underwoods. You pull it out to pull to the right, you push it in to pull to the left, and you can ratchet it up with this little lever here. Pretty cool. And carriage release is on the top side. Super smooth carriage because it's riding on this rail instead of your traditional, which most desktop Underwoods have. Your traditional typewriter rides on bearings. So this is a different feel. And you can actually set and reset the tabs too if you want from the back. Carriage release on the left side is a much different looking carriage release than the right, just right on front here. And this lever here, if you flip it up, it disables the spacing when you turn the knob so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You flip it down and you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is one space. Same concept if you pull this knob out here. Disables the spacing, you push it in, you get the clicks. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.